The night breathes differently in Los Angeles. Streetlights hum like tired insects. Somewhere a dog barks and then won't stop. Blood cools fast on concrete. A life ends quietly, without witnesses willing to speak. Another life shatters in slow motion. And Demerico leans closer to the darkness, asking a question it still cannot answer. What really happened on Bundy Drive? Listen carefully, because this story never truly ended. It begins with two people who should have been safe at home. Nicole Brown Simpson, Ronald Goldman. Nicole was young, beautiful, and exhausted in ways that don't show on photographs. A mother, a woman trying to rebuild a life after fear had already taken too much from her. She lived behind gates, but safety never truly followed her, not even there. Ron was different, quieter, kind in an unassuming way. A friend who didn't know that one small act of courtesy, or turning a pair of glasses, would place him at the center of one of the most infamous nights in American history. And then there was him, a name already carved into the country's memory, long before the blood. O.J. Simpson, a hero once, a star, a man who lived in stadium cheers and camera flashes, a man whose smile filled televisions while something darker simmered behind closed doors. June 12, 1994, Sunday night, warm air. The kind of night that feels ordinary until it isn't. Nicole attends a recital earlier that evening. Her children are there. O.J. is there too. Photographs capture smiles, polite distance, a fragile calm that looks real if you don't stare too long. Later, Nicole returns home. The gate clicks shut behind her. Inside the walls of Bundy Drive, the world seems small, quiet, almost peaceful. Ron finishes his shift at a restaurant. He grabs the forgotten glasses. A simple errand. He doesn't rush. He has no reason to. Somewhere else in Los Angeles, tension thickens. A white Ford Bronco sits silently. The clock keeps moving forward. Shortly after midnight, a neighbor hears a dog howling. Not barking, howling. The sound carries long, desperate. Wrong. Minutes stretch. No one checks immediately. In the city of lights, screams often dissolve into background noise. When the bodies are found, the night recoils. The scene is violent without being loud, brutal without explanation. Blood stains the walkway. The gate stands open, as if something fled or arrived in a hurry. Nico lies near the steps, Ron nearby. The air smells metallic. Final moments, frozen in silence. Shock ripples outward. Police arrive, cameras follow, and then the name surfaces. O.J. Simpson. Not a stranger, not a random suspect, a man once married to Nicole. Officers go to his home, Rockingham Avenue. Another gate, another quiet lawn. They notice something strange, a cut on his hand. Small, fresh. He says it was an accident, a broken glass. The explanation floats but doesn't land inside the house. Details feel off, a sense of something interrupted, something unfinished. The city begins to whisper, then shout. Evidence starts forming a shape, but not a clear one. A glove found near the bodies, another glove behind. O.J.'s home. They look identical, too identical. Blood appears where it shouldn't be on. Socks. In a car, along a path that feels too straight, too convenient, or too damning, depending on where you stand. Questions multiply. Why was Ron there so late? Why was Nicole afraid in the weeks before her death? Why does the timeline feel tight, yet elastic? Friends talk about fear, about calls in the night, about a woman who felt watched, but nothing feels settled. Not yet. Days later, O.J. doesn't turn himself in. Instead, America watches a car crawl down a highway. The white Bronco moves slowly, like a ghost unsure where to go. Helicopters hover above. Millions stare at their televisions. Inside the vehicle, a man sits silent. A friend drives. A gun is present. The letter has been written. The chase isn't fast. It's agonizing. Each mile stretches. Nerves thinner. Is this escape? Is this despair? Is this guilt or fear? When it ends, nothing feels resolved, only heavier. The trial begins, and the country fractures. Every glance is analyzed, every word weighed. The gloves become symbols. The evidence becomes a battlefield. The courtroom feels less like justice and more like theater. But the stakes are real. Blood. Fear. 2 lives erased. The prosecution speaks certainty. The defense speaks doubt, and doubt is powerful. Mistakes surface, procedures questioned, trust erodes. A detective's words from years earlier crawl back into the light, poisoning everything they touch. The narrative shifts, and suddenly, nothing is simple. The gloves don't fit. The jury watches. The nation holds its breath. And then the verdict, not guilty, gasps. Tears. Rage. Relief. Celebration and devastation collide. For some, justice failed. For others, justice prevailed. But for Nicole and Ron, there is only silence. Years pass. Time dulls outrage but sharpens mystery. O.J. speaks publicly, writes, moves on, yet Shadows follow him. A civil verdict later whispers a different conclusion. Not criminal, but responsible. Money changes hands, but answers do not. The murders remain officially unsolved, and the questions keep breathing. Was the evidence to perfect, or not perfect enough? Was the truth buried beneath fame, or hidden behind procedure? Did America want a story more than justice? At night, Bondi Drive looks ordinary now. Different owners, different walls. But listen closely, some nights still feel WRONGA, dog barking in the distance, a gate creaking open. 2 lives cut short, one name forever tied to blood and doubt. The O.J. Simpson case is not just about guilt or innocence. It's about what happens when truth collides with power, fear and spectacle, and maybe the most disturbing part is that decades later, we still don't know what to believe. So ask yourself, in the quiet moments when the cameras are gone, when the verdict fades, who really walked away from that night? If you found this story chilling, subscribe for more mysteries, because some cases never close.